So I witnessed something pretty amazing today, just so incredibly powerful, and I wanted to share that with all of you. I've been looking for a new church over the past couple of weeks, and you've got lots of different styles of churches out there, whether it's non-denominational or a particular denomination of Christianity, and each one sort of caters to its own style in regards to worship. You have some that have a more solemn assembly, so it's rather more quiet. There is singing, but they typically don't raise their hand or hands in the air while they do so, versus some of your more modern churches where worship is very public. And again, you see a lot of people putting their hands in the air as they sing and praise God. And to each their own, there's no right way or wrong way to do it. You sort of come as you are. Me personally, I tend to be more of an introvert, so my hands are down. It doesn't mean that I'm not praising God, I'm just doing it in my own way. So I found this one church where it's right in the middle of the road. You have some people putting their hands up in the air and others not. But while I was at church today, there was one woman that was several rows ahead of me, and she was just going to town. I don't know what the heck she was doing, but it just caught my eye. Because it wasn't the typical one hand in the air or two hands in the air or swaying of hands. She was just going all over the place. And so I was distracted, and I was looking more at her rather than the worship band, just trying to see what the heck is she doing. And because she was so many rows ahead of me, and I didn't have a clear view of her, and that her movements were so embellished, I couldn't help but have a cynical thought come to mind about this Kundalini spirit that we've been seeing all around the Christian churches. But I stopped and looked at her a little closer, and then I realized what was going on. She was deaf, and she was singing with her hands, because she couldn't sing with her mouth. And after I really realized what was going on, I first gave myself a big mental slap across the wrist for thinking such a thing, and then was filled with a moment of joy afterwards, just seeing this woman completely unashamed, signing in public the words to the song because she couldn't speak it. And then I looked over to the right-hand side of the church, and on the wall, next to the baptismal font, it said Romans 1:16. For I am not ashamed of the gospel, for it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes. I thought that was so profound, especially with this woman who was not ashamed to sign, to be completely different than everyone else around her, to call attention to herself even. And so the reason I tell you this is twofold. For one, it's to be just as bold as this woman. Be unashamed for the gospel. And two, it really reaffirms that we need to be keen on not jumping to conclusions about one another, for things may not always be what they seem. So many times we call each other false prophets. Even a lot of people call me in my channel a false prophet or a shill, but it's not always the case.